What I need to do is move away from the stigma and get it into this is a brain disease like other diseases. You need treatment. You deserve treatment. But my ultimate goal is to not see people suffer from a treatable disease. And the number one competition I have out there is not another treatment center. The number one competition I have is people don't think of this as a disease. It's stigma. It's people thinking, I should be able to deal with this myself. And the suffering continues and the deaths continue because people don't want to reach out for help. Denial, minimization happen. You don't see this with other healthcare. One of the things we've known for years, almost my entire career, this is a brain disease. All the articles, all the research. Yet our field does very little to treat this as a brain disease. What other disease of an organ do we not medically treat the organ? Heart disease does it. Lung disease does it. Kidney disease does it. Everybody's focusing on the organ. We understand what's happening, what's measurement with it, what the treatment does. Yet when it comes to addiction and mental health, very little is actually done to assess the brain electricity, the brain chemicals, the brain structural function. And why not? One of the things that we've been able to learn in the technology, and one of the things I'm so glad we won the battle of parity, the Affordable Care Act of being an essential benefit, the Surgeon General of 2018's comprehensive report on addiction and treatment, and that treatment works and recovery is possible, and this is a brain disease, is that it allows us to be a part of the medical community and medical advances happen. I don't want the same heart care that my dad got 50 years ago. I want the new heart care. My dad died because we didn't have stents and we didn't have medications at the time to be able to treat it. Today, had my dad have the same heart attack, the paramedics on the ambulance in this rural community would have had the medication, and the mid-level technician would have had the technology to save his life, and he wouldn't have died at 55. Yet addiction and mental health continue under the stigma to not receive the research, the funding, and the care of the brain that we need. Yet it doesn't mean it's not happening. Our brethren, when it comes to Alzheimer's, dementia research, traumatic brain injury, trauma, what's occurring in the brain is being studied. The technology is out there. What our field needs to do is begin to use that. Not as a solution. Hopefully you've just heard me talk all about the spiritual solution of that. I am not throwing that out. That is a key part, but it's understanding that that treatment affects our brain. And when we can measure the brain and improve it and watch what's happening, it improves outcomes. It reduces stigma. Today, if I show up with blurry eyesight, the organ of the eyes, I do not look myself in the mirror and say, not today, not another day. Today I'm going to see in focus. I don't do that. I go and I see an ophthalmologist. I go and get my eyes tested and measured, and I use treatment. Sometimes daily treatment. Oh, here's some glasses. They'll help you see. I got to do these every day? I got to wear this every minute? No, I wear them, right?
Now, there's research being done at Karen.
There's lots of research being done on Karen, and we're focusing on the brain because that's where the solutions lie to help people get better. And if we're going to help 54 million Americans, what I need to do is move away from the stigma that this is a personal weakness or a moral failing and get it into this is a brain disease like other diseases. You need treatment. You deserve treatment. Stop trying to say, I can see in focus, and get the help you need. So my number one goal here on focusing on the brain is to get the stigma of addiction away. Betty Ford did this with breast cancer. Today, it's all out there. Back in the 70s, even before Susan G. Komen, Mrs. Ford, as the President of the United States, she had breast cancer. She's a survivor of that. She put a name on it. It used to be shunned. You couldn't use the word breast. You couldn't talk about these things. Today it's out there. People are getting screened. People have medicine. People have treatment for it. It's not a shameful thing. We need to do that with addiction and mental health. It's 50 years too late.